BLU's latest budget-friendly smartphone is called the G9, and it starts at $179 or $129 for a limited time. I'll place a link in the description for you to take advantage of that deal before time runs out. From a design standpoint, this phone strongly resembles the OnePlus 7 or OnePlus 6T with its teardrop notch and beautiful blue gradient back cover that's super glossy and a little bit of a fingerprint magnet, but super attractive nonetheless. The phone is a tiny bit on the big side, but feels comfortable in the hands thanks to its curved edges. Notably, it includes a USB-C port and a 3.5mm headphone jack. The display measures in at 6.3 inches and it features the company's first V-notch or teardrop notch that provides room for the front-facing camera without sacrificing too much screen real estate. This is one of my favorite notch types as it's just super minimal and doesn't eat away too much display. We have a 720 by 1520 resolution with a 271 pixel per inch index, and it's definitely not the sharpest display. When you look up close, you will start to see individual pixels, but colors are bright and vivid and viewing angles are good. Brightness peaks out at 470 nits, which is pretty standard, especially for phones in this price category. For security, I'd recommend the rear-facing fingerprint scanner paired with a password backup. It's the most secure way to lock your phone, and it works well to quickly and consistently unlock this phone. There's a MediaTek P22 chipset under the hood equipped with 4 gigs of RAM. Now, MediaTek isn't my preferred chip maker because their processors tend to get bogged down faster over time. They're usually known for including budget-friendly processors for budget-friendly devices. So your mileage might vary, you might be able to get a couple years out of this phone, maybe longer, maybe only a few months, I don't know. But out of the box, the phone is able to open apps and navigate through menus and home screens without any major issues. There will be some stuttering as content loads up, and frame drops were common in my testing, but once again, it's really something I've come to expect in phones in this price category. There is a skin running on top of Android Pie, and I actually don't mind it. Keep in mind, you can change just about everything about this phone with third-party apps, but I actually don't mind the round icons. I think they look pretty stylish in my opinion, and the option to have 5 apps in each row is much better than being restricted to 4. One could definitely make the argument that this phone looks crammed with all the apps on the home screens, but the more apps the better. It serves a very functional purpose. Google Now is a swipe away, and you can choose to keep or get rid of the app drawer in the settings. Some of the quick settings icons and the settings icons have been reskinned, but overall it's very similar to stock Android. Gesture support isn't too bad on this phone either. You can choose the pill-shaped gesture layout found in stock Android Pie, or there's a sliding gesture to choose from similar to the iPhone X, which is my personal favorite layout. Basically, swipe up in the middle to go home, swipe up from the left of the screen to go back, or swipe up from the right of the screen to open up your background applications. There's a 13 megapixel rear-facing camera sensor with a depth sensor and a 13 megapixel selfie camera with your standard night and portrait modes. But where things get interesting is with the 52 megapixel super zoom capability. From what I understand, it basically uses software to create one image with 4 times the clarity by combining 4 13 megapixel photos together. I haven't tested this phone in every environment, but images do tend to come out ever so slightly more crisp and detailed, but I would say it's more of a gimmick than an actual feature most users will actually be using. Camera quality as a whole is adequate at best. Images captured in direct sunlight often come out overexposed, especially the sky, which almost always comes out looking like a white blob. Detail can be sharp, but only in ideal conditions. It's either sharp and parts of the image are overexposed because it's in direct sunlight, or the image is noisy as a whole because there's not enough light. Video quality maxes out at 1080p, but the quality looks like something I'd expect from 2009, not 2019. That might be a bit harsh, but just don't expect to be shooting any motion pictures with this camera. One thing that I especially don't like about this camera app is that HDR has its own mode and it's not available in the main photo mode. So in order to capture HDR images, you have to navigate to this separate mode by swiping over to the mode. It's just annoying. Why not include it in the main camera mode? Now, I do want to end on a high note, and that is the battery life. Inside is a 4,000 milliamp hour battery with quick charging support. It should last most users 1 to 2 days per charge, which is on par or above average these days. It's really great to see. Overall, while the G9 isn't going to be the first phone that comes to mind when someone asks for the best sub $200 smartphone, I still think it could make for a good daily driver for someone on a budget who prioritizes battery life and who likes the looks of this phone. The minimal teardrop notch and beautiful blue color look great in my opinion. There's also a headphone jack for those who have yet to make a switch to wireless. It's kind of sad that headphone jacks are a key selling feature these days, but they are. If you're at all interested in this phone, I would not wait to pick one up because the limited launch deal of $129 won't last long. Keep in mind that this phone only works with GSM carriers here in the United States, and if it doesn't work out, since it's fulfilled by Amazon, returns are pretty easy to do if it comes to that. With that said, I'm Bo HD from PhoneDog.com. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you right back here in the next one. See ya.